So we're starting one of the topics that a lot of people find to be one of the most difficult portions of this class. Let's talk about that. What is that topic? One-dimensional motion. And today I'm going to give you my 5 steps in how to solve all your kinematic problems. Step number 1. What do? We write down everything we know. Why do we do this? It forces us to reread the problem. We look for keywords, even underline it in there if you have to. We look for keywords like initially starts at rest, which means that my initial velocity is 0 meters per second, or has uniform acceleration. We know that acceleration is the change in velocity. So if it has uniform acceleration, it's going to be the same throughout the entire motion. We look for words like comes to a stop, which means that final velocity is going to be 0 meters per second. And we're only working in 1 dimension here, but these same rules apply for 2 dimensions. Video going to be description. For 2 dimension, the link is going to be at the bottom. We're writing what we know. We have our variables. We have velocity initial, velocity final. We have time. We have our displacement, and we have our acceleration. Those are our 5 variables. So when we're writing what we know, let's go ahead and make a list right here, and let's list off 5 variables that we're looking for. What are those 5 variables? Those 5 variables are velocity initial, velocity final, time, displacement, whatever direction, be x or y, and acceleration. Lastly, what we want to write is ultimately, what is this problem asking us to solve? How long was the ball in the air? How long did the car take to stop? What was the velocity just before it hit the ground? How far did it go? How high did it go? Things like that. So we can put a question mark next to the variable that we are ultimately trying to find. Step 2, we write our kinematic equations. Now I know on that formula sheet that I gave you, there are several on there, but I'll give you a hint. You only need to really use 3. Now this step is where a lot of people get themselves into a bit of a bind. So for all the would-be warriors out there, you got to take it slow. You look through these 3 equations, and what do? We solve for the variable that has a question mark from step 1. Step 4, substitute your variables into your final expression. You don't want to do your algebra in your calculator. Make sure the algebra is already done before you start plugging in numbers, because I guarantee you, if you're anything like me, you're going to mess it up. So let's avoid those mistakes. Okay. Step number 5, last and most important step. As Walt Whitman would say, sound your barbaric yelp over the rooftops of the world, because you have just mastered 1-dimensional kinematics. And when you get this kinematics in 2 dimensions, be a breeze for you. So as always, happy solving. Don't forget to look up.